You have more important things in life to think about than your internet. At Breezeline, we propel life forward with home internet so reliable, you don't have to think about it. With a team that goes above and beyond, fiber-powered speeds up to 1 gig, and 99.9% reliability at any hour, in any room. You won't have to think about your internet again. Go to breezeline.com for internet that propels life forward.
Here at Mountain Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mountain Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
My ultimate is ready.
Spike planted.
One down.
Separate sightlines, but they're not jumping into their tailwinds to get some sort of sightline separation. They're jumping in purely to go for these kills. They're close. And now Vayne is alone, has to jump over the top of the dark cover, spray through. No way. The classic right click. Chance for a second. May happen. No chance for it is carrot cake.
Catch him jumping, going for the next target. 17 HP in a dream. You gotta land the headshot. They do! Are you kidding me with the ace? Kermit! They keep their team alive! Gonna touch this one. The well will come up. They're gonna be weakened. They have to land this headshot. They're gonna do so! Balfinjager. I think they got just enough time.
0.1. Clutch. 0.14.
see long. We'll put Vanilla in an interesting position. Vandal versus 5 will seek out the Sage and take the headshot. There's 2, and there's the spike.
Y3 lurking on the other side. They're going to pressure through. The spray comes in. Clover finds one. Gets a second as well. Rosa falls in the meantime, but it's a 3-for-1 trade.
Player etching so close and near. Just a moment. There's your one up above or 2. Can you get another on top? You do. It's up to tally up to the margin.
Cover as well, giving time, but there's not much time to rotate. They have to try for this one. Ketrin finds 2, gonna find 3. No bullets in the chamber, but Cyber coming to save the day.
Fast enough. Stim goes up. That's the no command. Chance now with the Odin to spray through for killed in vain. One player resurrected though. The no command will still be a big nuisance. But the Vandal, not a necessity. The Odin is, and it is barraging the Mannheim side. And all but guarantees Pine Grove send us out of this one.
The first going to have that trigger discipline, and now barrel in sight. The finding success, the Gecko on Gecko action as they're
Wow, and we've seen a ton of shorty action today.
Cat is very low, decides to pop the knives. The trail detected off the Nightfall here. Magical, how many you got? There's 2. Destroyed. They've got so many players here, and Bruncheon just delays, pulling out the judge, traveling in, and behind him, he will eat. Already a double kill.
As the Spectre is in the hands of yet another defender from out of Mohawk. They're going to find 2. So this one finds a lot of value. 3 go down. Becomes a 3 versus 2 to try and be able to get rid of this as they go for the defuse. It's going to be a 2v2 late term. That's going to be Sneaky Squid off the reel.
Paranoia misses. Metal will definitely connect, and there's a shot out of the air. Notice has got themselves a 2K, pulls out the shorty, make it 3. Just cleaning up like a barbecue buffet. Is it 5? No! Rosa shuts them down. Hold on, not quite dead. Yep, it's the ace!
We asked 10 Mountie Esports players 10 specific questions, and these are their answers.
Watermelon Ice from Gamer Subs. Ghost Energy, either the cans or the pre-workout, either work.
So I used to be a Ghost favorite.
Hey yo, what it do? What it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back for some more PIEA action powered by the esports company, and it's week number 4. And since it's Wednesday, that means we Valorant on over here at TEC. Got 2 matchups here on the day. We got ourselves D2, I think, for both of them here. Both should be pretty fun. Of course, it wouldn't be nearly as fun if I was doing all the coverage by myself. I got the homie Anton with me. Anton, how you feeling, big dog?
I'm feeling pretty good. I was talking in the pregame. I just had my lunch, so I'm feeling pretty hyped. Stoked to start these games this week. And I was looking at the teams that we had here, and yeah, their histories. One of these teams, I think you casted them last week, right? I mean, they didn't have too much success last week, but I'm hoping this time they might be able to find some more footing in this week's games.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good news for Central York is it can't get worse than last week. That is indeed an actual fact. Actually, Central York is still trying to get their bearings. It does feel like, of course, it is still the fall. One thing I do always like to talk about, as much as we may already be at that halfway point of the fall semester, here at PIEA, like, yeah, the hardware for like the fall championships is cool, but what everyone really has their eyes set on is the state championships
at the end of the year, right? So for a team like Central York, yeah, maybe haven't really been able to get much momentum now, but there is still time to make some adjustments just in the back half here. You hit the lab during those couple of months in between the semesters, no school, grind, stay up till 2, 3. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. But you can take some time and put it into your craft and then be able to show up for spring. So I think for a team like Central York, it's just going to be all about taking those learning lessons, especially meanwhile on the opposite side of the server here today. You do have Lebanon, who currently is sitting as like the last team into the playoffs as far as for the Penn Conference in D2. So every series that they play, or I guess it's not a series, their best one, every game that they play really means a lot for them. So I feel like two different stories here today. I have a feeling that Lebanon's going to come in guns blazing. So for Central York, just going to hope to kind of weather the storm here.
Yeah, without further ado, though, we should be actually getting into the map that we're going to have between these two teams. I mean, just to get into the selection, as for what we had, Ban Ascent first, and then a Sunset taken out second. So we're going to be over to one of the old classics of Haven. But what's not classic is, of course, the Clove over towards Lebanon's side. It's pretty much a staple for ranked, but here in competitive, definitely not seeing too much of that agent, other than I mean, of course, after all the smokes nerfs, then maybe getting a bit more play. But on the other side, Central York is they're going to be a lot more classic. I think all of these agents that they're bringing in their roster right now are literally 1.0 agents. So very, very I would say they're going for comfort picks. We'll see if that ends up working out for them, as we do have that is almost the entire vanilla roster other than Cypher and Omen there. But I respect it. Go with what works, right? Go with the tried and true, whatever you know, whatever you have in your back pocket. And they're going to be over on the offensive side first, trying to make some stuff happen before they have to maybe fear the wrath of Lebanon when they go for their attacking side, which is probably a bit more favored on this Haven. So I look forward to see them making something happen over on this side first.
Yeah, you mentioned as far as like maybe not necessarily seeing meta, seeing more of those comfort picks. I do feel like, especially at the Scholastic level, we'll often see players be able to bring in what they're more comfortable playing, which is kind of fun actually, because it leads to these kind of like we have here, more unique compositions on either side. I mean, we hit the server here with 10 unique agents heading into things, and they're not your typical run-of-the-mill. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Rocco tries to lead the way for Central York, who was their top fragger last week, but Philo will be able to find the first two and hanging tight around the corner, able to use the overheal as well, feeling confident pushing right around. And after those first two frags, Central York got to figure out if they're going to try and pivot back into the, flank that's coming their way, or if they're going to push forward. Zuzi, though, will be able to at least find one.
It's a little tough because they are completely pinched in right now. Mimic is still on their behinds. I'm not entirely sure if he knows that everyone on the offense, other than just that one Omen, has actually made their way past him onto that C site entirely. It's completely empty. There's no defenders from Lebanon over here. So they should, if they get on the site fast enough, they should be able to get a spike plant down at least for the pistol.
I mean, the good news is you do still have Mimic on that flank in the back there, as Philo will be able to find the third. Philo? We'll go with Philo. Oh my goodness gracious. Quick snap back to be able to find the 4K here as well, but it will be Jason Long. The last one left alive and looking to creep here through garage. We'll jump up through window, look to push through link, and I like that idea. And surely they'd be looking for him through connector and just could very well catch Neptune's off guard. Luckily, Neptune steps forward, and I will give the sound indicator to both defenders here as to where the location on Jason Long is.
Oh, all right, Philo, starting things out hot. Very nice, clean ace there in round number 1. Not everyone from Lebanon is able to take their guns over the next round, but at least keeping that Clove alive. Very, very close to the ultimate already. Not dead yet. Charging up 5 out of 8. I mean, it is a pretty big ultimate to have, and it's a pretty big ultimate to charge up as well. So it's not going to be up just yet. But I mean, with that gunplay that we see from Philo right off the bat, peeking long A, being so confident just to take the ghost and take the fight against what might have been 5 players from Central York, I respect it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see the Not Dead Yet up very, very soon. And to have this player on this agent as well, something that impactful, able to clutch out any single round that you might decide to as a Clove, is going to be super, super valuable. But might take a second, as most of Central York are just opting to visit the other side of the map as they creep into garage. They are getting flanked, and Zuzi does have some awareness of this, but keeping it real nice and safe. Even with the gunplay that we know Philo has, just rotates back onto the site after they get just a little bit of attention. Some good stuff happening through garage though for the side of Ivan. At least gets one. The site still being held, and it should be nice and clean as Zuzi is the final player alive, walking through the middle of the map, not finding too much.
Well, there it is, another round onto the board, and Vilo still sitting with no deaths along with Neptune. So Neptune's is still looking for their first kill, but as far as their Vilo, 6-0, looking pretty solid, and a lot of people consider this to be the point where the game of Valorant truly starts, right, Anton? We'll see rifles coming out onto the board. Well, traditionally you do, since we did see a little bit of an investment up for Central York. We do have just the one here for Rocco, but I think more importantly, when you look over at the Lebanon side, since they didn't lose but a couple of people in those last couple of rounds, you do have the chance to bonus up heavy here in round number 3 and really set yourself up on econ for the following rest of the half.
Rocco being the one with the rifle, walking up first. There's a Dizzy that's going to go out, going to get shot out immediately. So they know that there's at least some kind of buy on this team. But Rocco, how much can he find? At least the first and the second. Good flick. But Ivan is the one to shut him down. It's still a 3-on-3. They can't get onto the site, but the spike has already been dropped.
Good news, I guess, at least, is Philo is down to the top frag. You don't have to worry about just quite yet. They're not dead yet. Well, not quite there yet. So out of the round for now. You mentioned, though, it is a 3v3 and the spike here. Plenty enough in to see where all three players can kind of gather on up and make sure that no one sneaks on in to steal that spike. Actually, Neptune steps right on through. Looks to try and find a way to get one. We'll find one. Zuzi steps right through connector. Quickly gets put down. Unless Jason Long can pull off a miracle here with the Ghost Inspector, it's going to be 3 in a row for Lebanon.
And there's a weapon dropped inside a cubby, but I don't think Jason has any kind of inkling to try and get that. No desire at all to walk forward. Maybe just waiting for Pago. Just a little peek. I mean, he is very, very low in health, but yeah, tough nuts. Ivan does peek out with the crouch peek and get that clean little headshot towards the end. And Lebanon with 3 in a row. Central York not making the most out of their bonus.
See what they can do here in round number 4. Fortunately, one thing that we do see a lot, even just across the board at PIE, I wouldn't even say it's necessarily our D2 and D3 squads. We even see some of our D1 squads doing the same thing where not being able to be disciplined in the save, kind of like we're seeing here from Central York. Again, kind of split by. You've got a couple of rifles, only one player with full shields. You'd rather get a full save than be able to have a full investment in round number 5. Unfortunately, if you continue to have these mixed buys, well, you're only going to continue to have these mixed buys unless you can continue to put a round on the board or two. So for Central York, looking to try and see if they can find their first here.
And walking into the site with only a solo Vi is probably not the worst idea. Smokes are here, but is it a little too late? Not entirely sure. It's a bit awkward back site. 3 bullets though. Rocco gets at least 1 before he gets sent all the way back and packing. And the rest of the team on the side of Lebanon is trying to hold their ground, but Rocco is going to continue on that flawless form he's had so far. I was mentioning before the broadcast even started that this guy, I mean, one of the only chances that they had in the previous week when they did get, I mean, they got kind of owned. Like, it's hard to sugarcoat what happened. But Rocco themselves had a 38% headshot ratio. Might not have gotten too many kills, but the kills that they got were good. So we know that this guy has the potential to end up clutching these rounds for absolutely everyone. Does take out Pago as well, trying to go for a peek, maybe getting a bit too aggressive. And the only one left alive now is the Gecko on the other side with 30 seconds. Needs to check their flank just in case they're making their way towards B. That's not to be. And the last 2 over towards Central York have the entire map free to do whatever they wish with.
Oh, this is a long rotate too, since you're pushing through short and up towards the spawn, as the spike will be going down onto B. The good news is it's on B as opposed to C. Not quite a full rotate all the way over, but the problem is they I was going to say should surely be looking towards window. 1 falls, but it will be Rocco with the 4K, puts the first round onto the board for Central York.
Very nice shots coming into the A site as well. I mean, I got a little bit worried as they just completely ate the flash onto the site. If I'm correct, that was a Vice Flower, so very nicely done by Neptune to at least keep themselves occupied for just a little bit. But even with his 3 bullets, I thought there was no way that Rocco was getting one, but getting anything, getting any kill, let alone the headshot on one of the rotating players, would have been great there. But yeah, done very well to get them onto the site and to follow up on that to end up winning the round as well, getting back towards that A, getting another pick, punishing Pago. That was a little bit too aggressive. And just walking all the way back. I'm just a little bit worried every single round that they are being the first engage. But I guess if you're that confident, then you go for it, right? But this time, they're not early enough to beat the smoke, so they're going to be caught behind that. Flashing straight through is Rocco again, still very, very confident, but the Vise wall does stop them for the time being.
Looking at Exec on a site here, turns the corner as Rocco finds one, but quickly put down by Neptunes, who finds a couple. Philo, not dead yet, will come back into play. I don't know if they'll be able to find any value off of it, and unfortunately here for Neptunes, they are the 4K here, and for Central York, you're seeing last one is in spawn. It does look like we might have a DC, so we'll see if maybe, hopefully, Central York might be able to get that thing figured out. It looks like they're saying chat might be frozen.
If any of you mattered.
I think they could call a tech pause if they want, but so far, yeah, I'm not seeing. I mean, I'm seeing a call for an AFK, and it is the case that Killer is unfortunately disconnected. But I do not know if we're going to go to a tech. They might just decide to play it out, I guess. They do have 15 minutes. We should inform the teams. They have to know, right? They have to know that they have 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out in the background here to see if we can figure out with our squad, because it does look like they're still. I mean, I feel like usually after a round or two, the player itself does just disconnect, right? They don't continue to sit back and spawn, which is rather interesting here. And it's for Central York. They are going to have to continue playing quickly here. Rocco's going to have to play extra aggressive since they are playing a man short. Finds the first one, turns the corner, going to be able to find actually two. That's a third. Now all of a sudden they may actually have a sight here.
Okay, I guess it's working. They don't really need a 5-man roster if they have Rocco, I guess, just going through and raising the entire site, no pun intended. Neptune's looking the wrong way and giving them a little bit of slack here. But even still, what a performance from Rocco. I mean, I did kind of expect that Rocco was going to be the spearhead of this Central York team, but like that, so far, yeah, they have really impressed me. So 12-4 now with their, was that their first run it back? I think it was, but probably going to get a second one charged up fairly soon. But yeah, like you mentioned, it's actually, so the difference between customs and ranked, this is the weird thing, is that in customs, if you DC, you don't actually disappear, because I guess it'd be a bit awkward in like pro games to have people disappear and then everyone else has a bigger buy. But yeah, they're just gone. Their ping is not moving, but Rocco's definitely moving, and the bullets are moving as well. Unfortunately, he does get taken out by Mimic, so this round could get a little bit tougher, but maybe this gives him a little bit more time to get some stuff sorted out.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, and all of a sudden, they actually might be able to find themselves a third round. Zuzi, last one left alive. Surely has the info as far as where the
retrieve the spike.
Vise is. Good news is has the spike here as well. Should be able to get this thing down. And I don't know if Neptunes realized that the spike still was over here at C, but at minimum, you'll get the You'll get the plant. Yeah, get the plant money here. Might even still be able to win the round.
Planted the spike.
Well, this is interesting. At least Neptunes is here early enough. Has a rifle. Oh, yes, okay. There's sound made. Hello. Camera. Shot out. Neptunes is going to play it real nice and safe. And now here's Zuzi once again. There's so much time being taken. I don't think Neptune, they actually didn't know which direction the sound was coming from. Now the spike getting tapped. He's going to get off at half, but Zuzi with the wide swing. Very nicely done all the way out. Neptunes can't react in time. And somehow, even still, even without a fifth player and even still without Rocco getting taken out first thing in the round, they managed to win that out.
A great job here. Looks like they are calling for it there in chat. I think they had said in that last round. I think Rocco had asked, but talk about to be able to put your head together despite the fact that you are despite the fact that they were playing short, to be able to put a couple rounds on the board. Does actually look like Killer might have just found their way back into the map as well, or back onto the server here as well. So we'll wait for the side of Central York to make sure all their ducks are in a row. It does indeed look like Killard is backing and rolling So we'll double check back with the players. But I feel like for a squad who just picked up a couple of rounds here, while you were down 4, you got to have a new, like, revitalized sense of, like, confidence going into this next round, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, not often do you win rounds when you're the team that's hacking for a text pause, but I can still take what they can get. It's a big flash coming to the A site, and finally all the util does get dropped. The Vice is still here, but this time I'm not actually seeing a wall, so it might be a bit awkward because these guys can just walk straight on the site, and that's exactly what Jason does. A little bit of a saving grace for Lebanon is the fact that they once again took out Rocco, and they're already on a flank, very nice and hot on their heels. And there goes the spike. Pago doing well this time, perhaps even a second. The Dink following it up, and now only last alive is just Sova as well as Killer over there in the corner, getting called upon for a 1v3 as soon as they come back from the grave. Okay, that's a bit unfortunate.
Oh, he froze again. That's unfortunate here. So it looks like they got back in, froze again. So not sure what they've got going on as far as their tech, but that's an unfortunate situation to be put into here. Especially, we mentioned, probably had a kind of revitalized sense of confidence going in the round. Your players back, and then all of a sudden frustration sets back in. You have them pushed all the way up towards A. All of a sudden they can't move, and it kind of seemed like that push onto A just kind of came to a standstill.
Yeah, that's a bit unlucky. I thought it was actually going pretty decently because, like I mentioned, I don't know if Lebanon had their full setup over on that A site, like right off the round start, because they didn't feel like they kind of just got walked up on. But I guess it ended up being okay because, again, they took out Rocco. That's what I was mentioning a couple rounds ago, right? I'm a little bit afraid having Rocco be first in every single time because they're probably the strongest mechanical player on the side of Central York, and usually you want to send that guy in second, right? I know he's a Phoenix and all, but you always want some kind of util or some kind of bait going in before the guy that's going to be shooting everyone, because there's always a chance, like, it's Valorant, right? You could always get spammed, you could always get just like the pot shot on the first player is always a little bit easier than the guy that you're looking at second. So I'm a bit surprised that that Central York are always sitting him first, but maybe it's just the fact that he's the most confident out of all of them, and I can kind of respect that. It's a little bit difficult to give some advice to the players that might not be as willing to just walk in the site, but hopefully for their sake, maybe they can get some util in to help out Rocco on these entries, because having him go down first every single round is definitely not exactly what Central York want to be happening.
What's your more thought process then? You let a couple smokes lay down from Jason Long, run a paranoia through, then push through it and see if maybe that might be enough to at least bait out a first shot or two, give Rocco the information on kind of setup on site? I think that makes a lot of sense for sure. We'll have to see if maybe they'll be able to give Rocco some assistance. You had mentioned last week that Rocco was their leading fragger as far as for this Central York squad, despite a result that they weren't quite hoping for. So I'm sure liking the situation that they're in currently, 14-6. Actually, Rocco is going to be the only player heading into round number 9 here that isn't going to have their ult available for them as well over on that Central York side. So even though they might currently be in a 2-round deficit, they definitely have a lot of things at their disposal as long as they can continue putting together a couple of rounds. Of course, that is given the fact if we can figure out what's going on with Killard here, because 4v5 in Valorant is kind of rough. I guess the benefit of it, of the titles that we cover over here at PIEA, right? Like a 2v3 in Rocket League, you can't really recover from. 4v5 in Overwatch, you can. But I guess at least in Valorant, if you find the opening frag, all of a sudden it's 4v4, and it's kind of manageable from there.
Yeah, like we saw it happen twice, right? Like it's definitely if Rocco can get heated, then nothing really matters. Like he just gets a pick and a second one and then a third, and just kind of snowballs from there. But I think the most important part in this case, if we're just going to talk objectively, is you mentioned that Rocco is the only one without the ult. That's actually true, except for the fact that Killer is the Sage. So if Killer is able to get back on the server, then you essentially do have 2 Phoenix ults, which is very, very nice, because he even if he gets downed, you can get res by Killer, and then all of a sudden he just has his ult, which is funny. But yeah, so fingers crossed that they are able to get back into the server, and like you mentioned too, the fact that they all do have ults definitely does help out Rocco a lot more as well, because they can all throw a lot of things over towards Lebanon, wherever they decide to. Over towards A site, you have some darts maybe from Nightmare and the Hunter's Fury, able to spot some people out, or maybe even get a kill if he's lucky. You've got Zuzi. If they get a pick, they have full reign over the entire map, because I think so far it has been the case that Lebanon are rotating fairly heavily. They're either flanking with 2, or they're just sending everyone else towards the site through defender spawn. But 90% of the time, we do see very, very heavy rotates. So the Cypher is going to be so important for this team if they can get some ults off. Because I would wager that if they're able to get an ult off, that does mean that the team of Lebanon as a whole are close enough to Central York that they've left 2 other sites open. So we'll see if they can do something with that information. It does look like the players are back in. Obviously, with technology, you never really know. We already saw them get back in and then immediately in the same round disconnect at the same time. So we will see. Hopefully they have some kind of some tech support over there in person, where they can get some stuff figured out. But yeah, computers are just a little bit annoying sometimes.
Always unfortunate. And you mentioned, a team that's already trying to overcome a tougher start to the season to then come in here, start to see some results, then have to have the pause. We'll have to see how they can now recover from here. They'll have a lot at their disposal, but of course, as much as we talk about the pause, kind of bringing their momentum that they're starting to build to a close, I guess inversely, you could say the same thing about Lebanon, right? They were up 5-3 prior to the pause. Kind of a pair of pauses, really, when you think about things here. Philo started off incredibly hot, hasn't really been able to quite find that same heat. So let's go and get back into it. Round number 9, as we do only have 4 more left in the first half.
Yeah, straight towards that A site. It is the entire team of Central York going towards here. Wall is going to go all the way through. We see the very strong Phoenix ever since all the buffs going on. That wall is all the way back to the back of site, and Rocco's doing well to get that headshot as well, trying to get the healing down. Okay, well, not quite. Maybe a bit afraid of what might be lurking on the other side, but Jason has found their way up to the top of heaven with that Omen ultimate. From the shadows comes a bullet, but into the shadow goes another, and Philo seems to have heard exactly what you were saying. Tries to make some stuff happen over towards the A site, wants to keep it held, and Mimic, though, gets dinked, but it actually helps him out because it bumps the bullet up to Rocco's head. Nightmare now barely in one, because can't fight against 3. 6 now for the side of Lebanon.
We turn to their POV, and all of a sudden you see all 3 players pushing down A short, run it down to be able to pick that one back on up. And one thing I feel like we talk about a lot over here, especially for some of our, whether it's parents or maybe some of our players who are a little newer to the Valorant scene, I feel like when you talk about that sweet spot of being able to win around, be able to maintain 3 rifles over, it's a good spot for the economy. We had seen Lebanon, started off decent, but then their economy kind of fluctuated up and down. They've kind of been able to bounce back here in a pretty good way. It feels like they should be all right for these final 3 rounds on the defensive side, and they've actually already guaranteed themselves at least a share of the lead at halftime. So Philo looking to hold things down as they look to run it back, pushing through into B as Rocco will be able to take down that top frag here for Lebanon, and it looks like they should be able to get the green light to push on the site.
All right, Killer back into the game, definitely in more ways than one. Gets the headshot onto the visor towards the defense, secures the angle towards that B connector. And Rocco even following up on that as well, getting another headshot into the Reyna on the enemy team. Awkward situations, they do have to break that lockdown, and they do exactly that. And Rocco, once again, another quad kill to bring Central York themselves up to 4.
I gotta say, I like the idea of the lockdown, just unfortunately it ends up being in view of the people who are looking there through a link, right? So it ends up being broken, otherwise does create some space for you to be able to retake B. So again, I like the idea. Unfortunately, execution just not quite there. But when they watch back the VOD, I think they'll see just how close things were. Going back into round number 11 here, you feel like even if you win yourself one of the last 2 for Central York after starting down 0-3, even looking back to the 4-1, you'll be okay with a 7-5. You do have a pretty full buy going into this round. We've seen them be relatively close, and it looks like once again it's a full mosh towards B.
Let's send the smoke down Philo, because everyone else is already in there. Smoke might actually kind of help out Central York. I'm not entirely sure if that was the idea. But whatever the case, they do manage to completely take control of the B site. Cypher with the spike in control, in hands. Not going for the plant just yet, because I guess they don't know that mid is completely clear, and it actually isn't. Ivan's made their way all the way up, and also the Vi's behind them. Neptune's going for some pot shots, but Ivan's the one to go down first to Rocco. 4 on 3 so far. Central York still at the disadvantage until Jason Long tries to even it up, but Philo wants to make even more. I don't think they're going to get away from this one. I think it's all done and dusted. Rocco taking them out first and second. Now it's a 2-on-2. Thrash going out, not really spotting too much. Rocco getting a kill before that Thrash doesn't even land. All to Mimic, and it doesn't have anything to say about it. I mean, Zuzi with that final headshot as well. Central York, they bottled themselves up in the B side, but still fight their way back out all sides.
Yeah, you know, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of questioning the decision on the delayed spike plan, right? I mean, you're already on the site. What are you going to do? Rotate 5 players out of there? You might as well just get the thing down. But you do end up still being able to win the round. So I guess at the end of the day, a win's a win. You know what I mean? But I think as far as just looking back to it, I do still think that is a place for an area of opportunity. Because at least that way you put all of a sudden put Lebanon on the clock, right? But let's go into our final round of the half. See if they have the ability to tie things up here for Central York. We've been seeing them find a lot of success towards B. Kind of interesting to see them all of a sudden pivot and switch up towards A. Maybe anticipating that the defense would be harder set up towards that B side. But Rocco's going to be able to at least find the first. That's Philo. That's the top frag here as well. But run it back. We'll get the location of Ivan away.
All right, I mean, decent shutdown of that run. In fact, Rocco has to go all the way back into the garage. Gun picked up from Neptunes as well, but can't get that steel garden out in time before one of the rifles actually removes them from the equation. Mimic once again left in the clutch. This time even harder than before. Spike being planted on that C site. Rocco alive, by the way. So out of any clutch that you would want, this is probably not the one that you'd be asking for. And the res for Econ. I mean, well, okay, I say for Econ, it is the last round, so you want to do as much as possible to secure it, I guess. But there you go, Nightmare is back up with that Hunter's Fury, so 100%. They have all but confirmed this round. Only a matter of time. Mimic just has to try anything they can, I guess. Oh, okay. Fair play, you've killed the top frag on the other team, but you gotta remember that Cypher ships don't go away the first time anymore, so unfortunately for them, they get caught once again, and Killer with that final frag does secure a tied half for Central York.
I like it. Scratchy to clawing back. Central York ties things up. And man, look at it right now over on that Central York side. Rocco, 25-8, really leading the charge. Do you still feel like if they are going to be able to get this across the finish line? I do feel like we have to look towards players like Zuzi, Jason Long, Killer. Someone's going to have to step up here in a big way, because something tells me, I feel like looking at what they've got going on for them. So much utility to be able to take space. I mean, yeah, Lebanon's, I feel like their composition better for defense, but it could really help them out on the offensive side too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only issue that could pop up is if Lebanon end up just, like, if they figure something out with Rocco, right? If they see Rocco and they just run away, sometimes pro teams will do that with players like Aspas. They're like, okay, we see an op, let's not go here. I think if they end up figuring that out, it could be kind of disastrous, but maybe and that's not going to end up mattering, because if Jason can put up these numbers as well, then perhaps there's a lot more threat than just the Phoenix. And even on the flank with the classic, gets every single headshot. I don't know what the heck is happening here. That was just an absolute destruction by the Omen over towards the defense.
Jason, you just did that with the classic. You put that ghost back down and you pick up the classic that you just were able to do that with. What are we doing, my guy? Nice round win, though, as far as Central York gives themselves what I would imagine would be their first lead of the season, as far as seeing how the results have been in their round differentials. But maybe they've had a lead early on in the game. Surely have to be feeling pretty good about themselves. They are on the defensive side. I always feel like when you have the lead on the defensive side, it helps you feel a little of extra sense of, hey, you know, we just gotta lock in and make sure that we don't overextend, let their aggression on that Lebanon side play into us. As Zuzi will fall back in garage after being spotted. Sure, no one's looking down C long, and is going to be able to get back to safety here. Wait for their teammate to rotate over.
Yeah, the entire team of Lebanon is pretty much inside garage right now. He's going to get run down pretty fast, but he does have a Spectre able to hold it down for just a little bit. And Killer now able to assist. There is a headshot coming through, but Ivan with a response. Stinger is going to sting Another one in the spawn, but Ivan is still working magic on the site. Smoke down to cover up any kind of walkthrough, and even Philo peeking behind it as well to get another headshot. Keeping it close. Buy is fairly even at this point between both teams, but now it's all up to Jason, performing so well in the previous round. Now with the only rifle in the server, should be able to clutch it out theoretically. But the spike is still in the hands of Ivan, opening up that C site, deciding to walk all the way through because he knows exactly where Jason is. So this is going to be a very long rotate for the Omen with a lot of corners to check. And they're going to have no idea where Ivan is going to be playing this clutch. This Reyna has full reign of the map.
So they're going to call the right spike location. They're going to look to push all the way over towards A, realizing that Ivan hoping for a longer rotate. Pinched up against the corner is Ivan. The stinger going to be enough to be able to take Jason Long down. And one more time, we will be tied on up. This time, it's going to be at 7s.
Second round one from Lebanon. Very nicely done. Just locking down that garage immediately. Might have looked a little bit dicey. I guess at this kind of level, it does work. They managed to push all the way out onto C-site. And like I mentioned, Ivan with the smarts there decides to rotate all the way off very swiftly as soon as they realize where the final player over on the defensive half is. And Jason, unfortunately, with the rifle, the fact that they bought up in that second round means that they're not going to have too strong of a buy. And going back to everything the Q has been mentioning this entire time, the very weird buys, I don't know if that one was on purpose. Nightmare is saying, hello, you locked me on a B. Drone in hands, at least they can get some information. But now they're going to know he's stuck in the corner here. And without a gun, this could be a little bit awkward. Tries to get the dart out, not going to work for them. As Philo gets the second kill of the round, that's not even the opener. So this is a little bit dicey for them so far, and even turns around to get another one as well. Knows the threat is coming from the backside. Rocco even, I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything here against the Guardian. And in fact, he gets domed even at low HP.
Always love the way a good one tap looks with the good old Guardian. Ivan will be able to find Killer, and that's a flawless round here for Lebanon. They'll be able to put themselves back into the lead for the first time here in a couple of rounds. Surely has to have them feeling pretty good, as we now will see those rifles should be at least starting to show up on both sides of the server here. It'll only be a couple over on the side of Central York due to that mixed buy. A couple of Spectres though, and it is worth noting Central York has been finding a decent amount of success with the Spectres as well. And I think most importantly, Rocco's the one who has the, still has the Phantom, has the armor all the way up where you want it to be. So if there's anyone fully kitted, it's the player that you got. So let's see if they have the ability to bounce back and tie things back up once more.
Working past the smoke very nicely as well. Great movement from the entire team of Lebanon. And Jason, I think he's probably going to get caught out here. And even with the Spectre, can't find the close range battle as Ivan takes his head off. Still 2 on the site, though. Slow is going to at least do something. But Ivan just walks straight through it. No one's watching for this entrance, so that means that they're going to get all the way through. Neptunes with a double one-tap with the Guardian, continuing their success from the previous round. And Ivan with the spike plant. Nano Swarm's on it as well, but gets taken out by Zuzi from the flank. And there's a second one to be had as well. Rocco now up against only one. No one's helping Zilo with the fight here. They really need to be assisting because this player can do everything right now. Headshot quick onto one lower. Understands that Neptune is up on top and somehow, don't know how it happens, but even still with the burn, wants to run it back and wants to completely win this round by himself. Gets all 4.
I'm not sure what resolution you are. What? There's surely enough time, right?
Yeah, that's plenty of time.
Okay, all right. I was going to say, imagine the run it back ends up doing that to you. That would be a highlight and a half, and not in a good way. But the 4K comes across here. Will be allowed for Central York to tie things back up. Again, they've been finding success despite the fact that they haven't really had the full rifle buys in too many halves. So I guess if it ain't broke, don't. No, I'm not going to say that. They should probably still fix it. But still looking pretty solid, though, as far as how things have been working out for them. Let's see if they'll be able to. You feel like, again, for Central York, you know that you're on the verge here. I think the big thing is you don't let the nerves get to you.
Mm-hmm. I think that's definitely one of the major downfalls for lower level teams is having some kind of shakiness, which is respectable. If you're not shaking, that means you don't really care. And certainly Rocco cares a hell of a lot. I mean, looking at a garage, getting 2 right there. Neptune's with the response. But Rocco is still going. He's not done. Third headshot. Ivan does remove him finally. And last alive is Jason. They know exactly where he is. The spray is very, very labored, but he does get the spike at the end of that. Has only a Spectre though. So Neptunes with a massive advantage, at least in terms of weaponry. But we all know how that ends up turning out sometimes. You never can predict what's going to go on with these kinds of weapons, with these kinds of players. Just a little bit of a running gun from Jason could end up taking this round, but it's a very slow going at that.
I do like this idea. You fake the plant at B, quick rotate over towards A, and since Jason doesn't know which side you rotated on either connector, well, now he's going to have a little bit of guessing work. Do we push to A? Do we push to C? Once they do hear the next spike go down, of course, they could very well think that it's just a replant back down here on B as well. So once they push around a spike, they'll see that it's nowhere around, but that takes some of the time that is off of the clock. The good news for Jason, you will be able to pick up a Vandal, a little bit better of a weapon to be able to make a play with, and does find the right read. Finds a way to step right on through, and now it's all just a matter of time. It's the 1v1. Neptunes versus Jason Long. You're going to have to start moving with a sense of urgency. You can hear that spike starting to count down quicker, but Jason Long has the ice in the veins, and Central York move up to 9.
Very nicely done. It took a little bit of time, but with the time that it took, Ivan was actually a little, excuse me, not Ivan, Neptunes was actually a little bit lost as to where Jason could have been coming from. As I think even after that kill on Arena, maybe they thought that because Jason with the Omen, they could have been anywhere at that point. But I saw, looking at the, looking after Neptunes was planting at B and obviously faking it, walking towards that A site, they were checking spawn. Like, I guess it's good discipline to check your corners, but there is no physical way that Jason could have been at spawn at that kind of point. So that really does say that Neptunes is actually completely lost Jason on the map. So towards the end, obviously after the plant, if you have no idea where he is before the plant, you really have no idea where he is after the plant. So looking just the wrong direction at just the wrong time, a bit unlucky there, but very nice clutch from Jason nonetheless. Does charge up the ultimate to actually be anywhere on the map this time. So now he's going to be the one walking up A and sitting behind the smoke. No one's going to be facing him just yet. He's going to have to walk a little bit of distance before he does get any kind of engagement. And in fact, isn't even going to catch anyone's backs because these guys in Lebanon are walking up towards C fairly quickly. And Ivan already opening up on the site gets responded on by Rocco in turn 4-2. And of course, it's just this guy almost ends the round right there and then.
Is he able to at least find one? Helps Rocco out a little bit, but the problem is Philo still on the server. Going to be able to find a pair of them things for Lebanon. Means Killer going to be the last one left alive. Hold on, finds one there. The only problem is Philo not dead yet. We'll come right back into it. Finds the kill, and that will tie things up. You're 9.
He tried his best, right, Rocco? I mean, even looking at a garage, but maybe overheating a little bit there. Sometimes it can happen, definitely with the best of your team. You really want to keep them alive, and sometimes when they get going a bit too hard. Like, you can always flip over the front of your bike, and that's exactly what happened there. Peeking outside a garage, trying to take out Philo, but in fact, it was Philo that ended up winning the round in multiple ways, right? Taking out the top frag of Central York, and even going along to get the final kill of the round. So looking very good over towards the side of Lebanon. They might have started out hot, slowed down a little bit, but they've at least stayed quite consistent. And Rocco, this time, once again, overheating a little bit, getting too confident, looking out that garage and getting dinked down to 6 HP, able to get spammed through that garage door, which leaves them in a 3 versus 5 after another teammate goes down in garage as well. Killer tries to pull it back, and Zuzi doing the same, but they can't quite even the round count up.
Spike planted.
Spike goes down. Zuzi looks and turns right into Philo here, which means Jason Long will be the last one left alive. We've seen them be able to pull miracles off before. And we had mentioned right around 2-3 rounds before the half, maybe even would have been the halftime, where we mentioned how it was really going to be about the supporting cast. Who's going to be able to step up? Jason Long trying to do just that here for Central York. Was going to be identified here. Yeah, he is going to be able to at least find a way to get half. But as I say, full stick you can't do, though. They know you're there. I like the thought process. Maybe they think you're not bold enough to do it. It's not going to work this time around. Lebanon up to 10.
Yeah, that's the funny thing is the bell curve, right? At the bottom, you full stick. At the top, you full stick. In the middle, you gotta get off eventually. So Nice try there from Jason again. But this time not to be up against 2 instead of just 1, so a little bit harder of a question with the rest of the players able to flank from both sides. Good pinch to secure that 2 versus 1 from Lebanon. Now, going into what is essentially a 5-man take of the A site, another smoke, but yeah, Jason, I don't think he realizes that this is not the best smoke in the world. They can just walk right up to it, and he's going to find that out the hard way as the solo defender of A does drop. Central York already losing the site quickly, sending Rocco over on this flank very fast as well. So this one, honestly, might be the round winner right here.
Planted.
Could be. One thing I want to point out, because I feel like we've been hounding them about not saving them, so I want to make sure we give them a head nod here for the fact that we do see Central York saving here in round 20. I always like to call these rounds 16 through 20 kind of the meat and potato rounds, where you really kind of find out the heart of the meal, all right? And well, Central York's been able to keep things close. They'll be able to full buy in this next round. What this round will now be all about here in round number 20, because I don't think you're going to be able to win it, is you got to try and find a way to make this round expensive. You have not been able to do so yet. No rifles out of the hands. Will be a killjoy, and will be put down as well. It tries to keep the squad at bay. Feels like maybe that's a little overkill, but hey, you know what? If it helps you secure the deal, it helps you secure the deal as that spike explodes, and it's now up to 11 here for the Cedars.
You said make it expensive, and they definitely made it expensive. Part of it maybe from the hands of Lebanon, but fair play. 2 players go down to the spike. They drive out the KJ ult as well. Yeah, that's... I think overkill is a bit of an understatement, but fair play. Lebanon are up. They're actually 1 round away from match point, so I think that's they can spend whatever they want if they're gonna win in 2 rounds, right? So they just gotta hope that Central York can't pull it back. They do have 5 ults on the enemy team. It is up to Central York to use those wisely. So far, Rocco has had to run it back a couple rounds, so I kind of want to see him just spend it, because with the way this guy is playing, this run it back gets charged up every 2 rounds, man. Just use it. Like, this has to be the round where it kind of just happens. There's slows going out front B. I think that has done almost enough to dissuade their actual push onto the site, but then Killer goes down, which means it's a lot easier of an ingress onto this B.
Nightmare's gonna fall as well, which means it's 3 players left standing here for the Panthers. Jason Long will be able to find 1 and will now start the pinch, but Philo reads it and takes them down. Rocco and Zuzi both going to be able to find 1. And while the spike does go down, it's going to be all left to Philo versus Rocco. The run it back has been popped, and that will at least let them get right back to it. The hot hands as well will help make sure that they're overhealed, I guess. But I like the idea. You fake the tap, then you'll be able to find the frag. Hold on just a second, they're not dead yet. Oh, and I feel like you probably would have been fine with the weapon you had. You've wasted too much time. I don't think there's enough to find the defuse and the kill here.
I mean, he's definitely waiting out the timer for the clove, right? You have to just go for the defuse. I think he actually does have Rocco with the clutch. I mean, he's got plenty of time, actually. He's got 4 seconds. How smart is this guy? I mean, saw the Twitter clip or TikTok or whatever, but that is a brilliant way to play a clutch against a clove. Not dead yet. Bait it out. They can't find you. They can't stay alive. Just hear the spike. That is brilliant from Rocco.
I guess there's a reason I've never gone 38 and 14. Rocco's clearly better than me. Making the right play here. I really like it. You mentioned, yeah, waiting out the timer and still having enough time. That's some really good situational awareness here from Rocco to be able to allow for Central York to move up to 10. And both teams getting pretty well close. Should be able to smell that victory right on the verge of things here. I think more importantly for Central York, looking to find their first. It will be the Cedars. We'll look for a quick push over towards A. 3 will look to push towards Long, 2 towards Short. They're going to pitch right here towards Jason Long, who will at least be able to find 1. But as the spike goes down, they should be able to get full control of site.
All right, that's very good utilities from the side of Lebanon to get onto the site. Nicely done from the Omen to get at least 1, but Philo is going to follow up on that frag. And this is a very, very difficult round for them to come back into on the side of Central York. They do have Zuzi on the flank, but they're not able to get what they need to. Flash coming out from Rocco does blind at least 1. Can he find the kill? That's a resounding no. And Killer now left wondering what the heck to do, because you can't res at that point. That's, yep, his body is way too far down. A little bit unlucky, but have to save that for the final, what might be the final. I don't want to jinx it just yet, but this one is going to bring Lebanon all the way up to map points, and Killard is not even going to be allowed to save this weapon over to what might be the final round of the map.
I like the idea. Wanted to get away and would probably at that point have turned back around and looked for a potential exit frag, but unfortunately, that player had already pushed on through. They turned their back to him, and well, that's never a good sign in a game of Valorant. So does put Lebanon onto that, well, I was going to say series point. Map points? I mean, kind of the same best of one, I guess.
Call them
but
the same.
let's see if the Cedars have the ability to lock things down. You do have 3 ults that are available for you if you are the Panthers, and I think most notably being for Zuzi. However, it doesn't look like anyone's going towards C, so you very well could get no value out of that neural theft. Well, hold on.
Oh, they're in garage, so it's possible. The thing is, Zuzi does need to get a kill first, right? And
yeah.
They are running pretty much all into him, so we'll see. Fake plant, and there is a frag, but not thinking about the neural theft just yet. Maybe it's not needed, as all the kills are in favor of Central York until Philo has something to say about it. Mimic also tags along ahead of time to try and get one, and Zuzi just playing to bring around the Rosie, ends up not working out. Philo with that second to last kill. Hold on a second though, because the plant is going to get confirmed over here, and the Omen now in a 1v1 spots out a shoulder just in the nick of time, but does get hit by that metal. Doesn't want to fight just yet until that decay runs out. And now there's enough time that has elapsed for some questions to be put into Philo's head. Where is Jason going? Is still the Omen, could decide to go anywhere, but Philo is looking the wrong direction, but turns just in the nick of time. 3K to close it out. Lebanon 13-10.
Lebanon will be happy to walk away with the dub, but you do gotta give a tip of the cap to Central York. In their first 3 games of the season, Anton, they were only able to put 6 rounds onto the board. We mentioned last week, weren't able to find a single one. So to be able to go just about the distance here, right? 23 rounds. I think there's some things to be able to take away as a positive. One, obviously, you can look at Rocco going absolutely nuts. 501 ACS, I mean, 39 and 16, really leading the way. But I think also when you look to players like Jason Long, Zuzi, really stepping up in their own right to be able to help kind of support Rocco. And that's what this squad is going to need, as well as maybe a little bit of an improvement from Killerton's Nightmare. Could just have been an off day from one, if not both of those players. But it feels like Central York starting to piece things together here.
Yeah, I think there's definitely lessons to be learned, right? Looking back at this game, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that when you watch this kind of team, you realize that Rocco is one of your biggest assets. So just to play either agents or play a play style that can just support this guy no matter what he wants, just listen to him. And if he wants to peek long C, you give him a flash, you give him a dart. If he wants to just walk up long A, you give him like a paranoia, or you give him some smokes or something like that. Like whatever this guy wants to do, just make sure that he has all the support system behind him to get these things done, because he's already dropping 39, right? And I would say that in this kind of map, we're not even seeing the full potential of the team, because it's not always the fact that he has a setup. Usually he's walking up to a smoke or something like that, sitting in the smoke, and just like ranked style flashing out of it with a Phoenix. And that's like the most basic of basic kind of thing that you can do. And the fact that he's dropping 39 in a loss, mind you. Yeah. So he's pulling way more than his weight is already such, like, it speaks numbers about how valuable this player is. So yeah, if we see Central York just take this concept and just run with it, I feel like we're going to see them winning a lot more games. And I mean, okay, let's start with rounds, right? Winning a lot more rounds in the future leading up to games.
All about putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Again, keeping in mind, yeah, there's 2 more weeks of the regular season here in the fall, but we still have the whole spring to get through before those state championships playoffs. But you know what, we do have one more series in the day, and I know they're already waiting for us, Anton, so we're gonna go ahead and take ourselves a quick break. We'll be sticking on board with some D2, but on the other side we've got Lower Moreland versus Dallastown, so y'all aren't gonna want to miss it. Maybe grab yourself a quick drink and a snack, because I know we got some students who have just been getting off school, not in the too distant past here from now. But we'll be back here in just a couple minutes with our second matchup of the day here at PIEA right after this.
day. These ethanol fuels won't make me sober. One flame to take the pain away. I caught you lighting matches in the back room. Haters look mad when they pass you. Let's talk about around when it's past due. Reach a glass, do no. You don't gotta fight alone. You don't gotta fight alone. Don't be so personal. Take me out of the I'm going under. Take me out of the Everyone's seen death in their dreams, but we still wake up and go to sleep. Everyone's seen death in their dreams, but we still wake up from our sleep. I'll be home soon. You don't gotta fight alone. You don't gotta fight alone. You don't gotta fight alone. Don't be so personal. Take me out of the I'm going under. Take me out of the I'm going under. Who do you rely on now? I know the worst. I know the worst. Who can you call on now? I know the worst. I know the worst.
Paralyze my heart. Don't wanna feel your touch like ice, tracing all my scars. Why is it hurt on the inside? It's unforgivable, but I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you, you break me, but something about it makes us so, baby. Every piece keeps us together in
Welcome on back. We're back to it. Series number 2 of the day here. We get on in for more D2 action. Lower Moreland versus Dallastown. Lower Moreland's been one of our stronger teams on the D2 level. Currently sitting undefeated, sitting at 3-0, have a pretty decent plus-minus ratio for their rounds as well. Dallastown definitely going to have their hands full. Dallastown currently, like, if they are able to kind of turn around the back half of their fall, could still make playoffs come the end of the fall here. But for it to start against Lower Moreland here, it's going to be quite the challenge, Anton.
Yeah, for sure. I think just looking at these players, they're definitely one of the better teams in the division. However, I mean, of course, like you mentioned, going up against Lower Moreland is no easy task. Like, there's some of the best shooters in. I've mentioned, I guess I kind of contradicted myself, saying that some of the best shooters on Lower Moreland is not wrong. They have some of the best, like individually, probably some of the best players here. So any team going up against them, no matter where you want your standings, is always going to be a struggle, right? So Dallastown do have their work cut out for them, but we are going to one of the tried and true of Ascent, so one of the most familiar maps in this entire map pool. So hopefully, for the sake of Dallastown, they're able to kind of just pull some strats out of the back pocket and just some of the stuff that you remember all the way back from the beginning of the game, right? So if anything, you have that to kind of rely on. The fact that you are so familiar with this battleground that we're going to be fighting what is essentially some of their biggest demons on.
Let's go and get down to a tried and true Descent. You mentioned it. Both of these teams should have, you would imagine, a pretty good grasp as we get ready to head off to Ascent. One of the OG maps as far as for good old Valorant here. One thing that's interesting, I always tell people whenever I get to watch Lower Moreland, you know, over here at PIA, I feel like there are a couple of schools that when you see their name, whether it's their D1, D2, D3 program for like a specific title, you know that they're going to bring the heat. You know, I think of teams like, you know, CB South, Penn Manor for Overwatch, maybe even West Branch of years past. Currently, even you got like teams like Penn Trafford for Rocket League. But when you see Lower Moreland in Valorant, whether it's their D1 squad, their D2 squad, or even their D3 squad, you know they're going to have some shooters. So I'm going to really be looking to see who's going to be able to step up over on that Lower Moreland side to help lead the charge for them to try and keep this undefeated run in the fall alive.
Yeah, I think even following up on your statement there, I think some of the names just to keep an eye on, Carrot and Justin. I mean, Carrot might only be on the Omen, but we know that Omen is probably one of the more conducive agents to playing a little bit more aggressive, because you do have those TPs and you have the paranoia that you can either set your teammates up or set yourself up with. And just individually, Carrot is probably one of the stronger players on the team, and Justin is on the most independent duelist in the entire game, maybe tied only with Yoru, but Yoru has gotten hit so hard in the most recent patch that I would argue maybe Phoenix is finding his way back up there. Obviously still doesn't have map-wide TPs, that's a pretty big deal, but as just a very like run-of-the-mill agent that can do pretty much anything that you would want and nothing you wouldn't, I think Phoenix is definitely one of those that you just kind of pick up and say, okay, it doesn't matter what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks. I could have been practicing, I could have not been, I could have been playing like, I don't know, Roblox or something, but you would pick up Phoenix and you'd be fine with it. So someone of this caliber is probably going to do quite well. So Dallastown, luckily for them, are not running into him just yet, but they are walking into Carrot on the other side of things over towards Short.
Like right now, either way you go, they're gonna be putting those two kind of separate and tough spot to put themselves in. Actually, looks like Justin may even be holding down mid as far as for now. Dallastown will look for a quick exec over towards C. One of the problems though, well, Eaton's already over here. That's a lot of utility to be able to fight their way on through, but they're able to break it all, and look at that, doors going down. They've got some control of sight. Eaton finds the first frag, however, and the spike goes down.
Oh, okay, a little bit awkward Sin there with some very swift responses. Justin, unfortunately, okay, your molly's good for you, but not quite for your teammate. But the raise nade should be pretty decent to try and dislodge Arcane from that spot over in Wine. Doesn't do that, in fact, just barely misses, and the shot's also the same. Headshot finally lands towards the end for Justin, but Omen is the one to respond upon that one as well. And doing so much to get onto the site, Sin is the one to keep that man advantage alive and keep 3 over to the second round for Dallas.
Often we see that in closer contested matchups, the pistol round in that following round. oftentimes can make the difference when you talk about the two halves. Those 4 rounds can be quite the big difference. So when you look at a team who feels like they've got the upward climb in Dallastown to be able to put the first one of those 4, it's a positive check mark. See if they'll be able to continue moving forward. I think the thing that I really enjoy seeing from Dallastown here is they're kind of fine with still just going back in with the pistols. It means that they can win this round on through. They could really bonus up if they want.
Definitely a little bit of an interesting dart there, unconventional, but I guess if it throws them off, it works. Very nice shot. That one chunked at least a couple. Maybe the Rays not having the best kind of showing on the other side of the smoke, but a shock dart does chunk down 2 players on the side of Dallastown, both Potato as well as Gimme Spam. Sin does answer right back through that mid, takes out the Phoenix that has been holding down for a couple rounds, but they are once again looking towards the side of Carrot as well, sitting in the smoke, being patient. Dart's gonna go through, but Carrot instantly taken up again by Sin. Dallastown looking great so far, removing some of the best players on the side of Lower Moreland very, very quickly, and Ethan can't even find the shots on one of the members that has been so consistent over on the offense. Kefren now last alive. They know exactly where he is, and it's only going to be consolation for him if they can get anything, and probably a little bit showy from Dallastown if they go and take his site. But yeah, they are smart. They run the spike over to A, and Kefren with a very, very long rotate is going to take a little bit to get back into this clutch.
Took a little extra time to get the spike down, so Kefren Rocks was able to at least rotate their way through B, and looking through tree here as far as for now. The one problem, well, this door is going to have to get broken to get on through, so that's going to let Arcane and everybody else here for Dallastown know exactly where Kefren Rocks is. Sir Omen's just going to hold Shift W, baby. Runs them down, and that's the second round here for Dallastown.
Nicely done. Clean headshot to close out as well. Just as soon as Rays perhaps suspects some kind of flank. Yeah, not to be, everyone's just keeping it safe, keeping it together for Dallastown, and like you, I mean, yeah, keeping it together is probably a good way to put it, because they keep the rounds together. They make sure they win the first 2, and we see we're back to normality here in terms of buys. We do have a full buy in the second round for Dallastown, but also Lower Moreland did end up saving quite a bit of money, so they're able to get up full rifles for themselves in this round as well. So this is barely even a bonus. This is pretty much just a rifle round that we see in the third round, which is not common, but Lower Moreland have a very big chance to just take this and start snowballing from here on out as well.
I think the inverse side of that, though, is Lower Moreland is going to be playing into rifles, and if they lose this round, Econ could spell trouble. And look at that, Sir Omen turns the corner, going to be able to find 2. That gives them all of the control. Here on to B. Spike's going to go down, and it'll be 3v5 on the retake here for Lower Moreland. Really going to be looking for Carrot Cake, pushing their way on through main here to try and find that first opening engagement, try and find to put numbers back into the favor here for Lower Moreland, struggling to find Sin, and Sin takes them down.
Responses from Justin, maybe a third. All right, needs to reload first. Ethan still left in this massive clutch. That's the first and the second. Nice taps.
Stop it.
1-on-1. Arcane realizes the sins of his teammates, doesn't want to repeat that. So now runs all the way to the back of the site. Ethan has every idea, but the thing is, there's no time he needs to go. He has to just press W. And I mean, at this point, it's just a constellation frag towards the end of it, and he doesn't even get that. Dallastown have looked so good on this offense against one of the best teams in this division.
I think this is an important sign to just sometimes you got to control what you can control. We had seen them pop in, and they had seen I think we had seen in so far as in the game chat, a couple players were kind of higher ranks, and it felt like maybe Dallastown was allowing that to get to their heads in the pregame. Well, they've been able to come out here in the first 3 rounds, and they've been able to completely take control. I had mentioned how that last round could not necessarily break the bank, but it would put them in a stressful bye here in round number 4, and that's exactly what's happened to Lower Moreland. I mean, half shields all the way across, and not even really anything but a rifle to their name, and Sin is going to be able to find Carrot Cake to get things started.
That is another entry. It's the same thing round after round, right? That's happened 3 times. Sin has taken out Carrot Cake. It's literally the same players on both ends of the things. Justin now finally showing up for the side of Lower Moreland, like you mentioned before. One of the pillars on the side of this defensive team, but he gets mollied out by double. I mean, one of them is his, I guess, but very nice placement from that Killjoy over towards Dallastown. Now, they might have been taken out, but there is some more to be had from the side of the defense, apparently, and the Neural Theft is going to do so much for them. All the way behind, Sin gonna take a bullet from that Marshall. Clutch become a lot harder after that ultimate coming out from the Cypher.
Good news for them, though, is that's a lot of util. I just came out between the two right away, so there's not as much keeping them at bay for the next 40 seconds, but Sin will have to play into a 1v2 here. Both players have pushed back towards A mains. They're playing on the back side of the spike, which is kind of interesting. I feel like you could have put one in that cubby right up underneath the top, but hey, you know what? If it works for you, Coot's going to be able to take down Sin. That's a first round on the board here for Lower Moreland.
Nice shots coming out from both sides, and the thing is, I think Justin probably is, like I mentioned, the pillar to just keep that round afloat, right? Because even though he does go down in the corner there, he does buy, he makes them spend a lot of util to take him out, and the fact that he got 2 with only a pistol, like that's not something that's supposed to happen, right? There's no way that you sit in the cubby with a ghost and somehow find double headshots onto 2 different players. Like Dallastown have to maybe kind of lock in and discipline check all the corners from now on, because that is not something they can allow to happen more than 1 round in a row. And we'll see if if Lower Moreland managed to get more than 1 round in a row with that kind of antic, because this time they're walking straight into the B site. Jet with the dash doesn't want to go through just in case it trips, but now Ethan taken out means that there's no risk. So everyone walks all the way back onto the site, and the solo defender doesn't have anything to say about it because he's not even here anymore.
2 ults will be expended here. Okay. All right, well, confidence, I guess. Let's go for the frags out here with the rifles. So Roman says, I don't want my knives. And 4v5 on the retake here. They'll have to start thinking about when they want to push. Carrot Cake's had a relatively quiet afternoon thus far, despite their usual fragging potential. They find the arcane single shot. That looks crisp, turns the corner. How about we make it 2? Can you find a couple of more? Because that's going to be what's needed here for Lower Moreland. It's Gimme Spam sitting in the back, and I think, unfortunately, we'll not be able to hold this team off long enough. There's enough time left on... No, is there enough time? I don't know if there is. Hold on! No! That hurts.
Oh yeah, you can see Carrot Cake does not like the result of that round. Now, I'm surprised. I thought they actually had a little bit of time to kind of slowly take their time making their way back on the site, but just long enough. The clove stays alive in Boathouse to be able to make that clutch happen. That's crazy. 0.43. Like that's, I hate to blame like specific players, because like we could have been watching anyone, right? Everyone was shooting at Gimme Spam towards the back, but we saw Carrot Cake have a couple chances there as well, and missing the headshot. I mean, that kind of does mark the round, right? And this time it doesn't. It's still not great as an opener. Justin goes for a peek down mid, wants to try and make something happen and maybe catch Dallastown off guard, but in fact it's himself that gets taken off the board. And Sin, another very swift headshot, finally responded in kind by Carrot Cake. Revenge after the first 5. But is that enough, as the plant has already gone down on A?
Heard Sir Omen go up to the sky. Surely should be expecting him on the high ground there, and Coot will be able to find one, but Potato Man trying to spam with shots back. Eaton will be able to take them down. Unfortunately, though, Gimme Spam already pops right on up. Be able to find the one in the back, and we'll be able to find the second one as well, and that's now 5 rounds in a row. Well, not 5 rounds in a row, 5 of the last 6, I should say, here for Dallastown.
All right, Dallastown. I mean, they're definitely woken up here, right? And it's sometimes this kind of, you look at a scoreline like this, and at least in a league where you have like best of 3s or best of 5s, you can maybe say that, all right, well, map 1, okay, chill. Map 1, a little bit of a wash, like something like, because you're not always gonna have the best map come up as the map selection. But this is not a best of 3. It's not even a best of 2. You have one map. Like Lower Moreland have to somehow wake things up right now, because it's not only like ascent, but they're on the defensive half first. Being 1 and 5 down on the defense is not a very good sign, at least in my opinion. Maybe they're an attacking team, but even still, it should be a very, very strong map for the defenders. And now Dallastown looking at the B site again. There is a sniper looking at their sights, but I don't know how much the Marshals are going to really do unless he lands some miraculous headshots here.
Take flight.
Finds at least one, keeps him at bay, and the Owl drone will give them the information they're leaving away. Hold on, Hunter's Fury might be able to find a couple. No, it splits the defenders and, or sorry, splits the attackers, I should say, and not going to be able to find anything. I guess at least the Hunter's Fury buys you time on the defensive side. It pushes them all the way back, but now it's 4 players that have quickly pushed into Courtyard, and they do have options from this point. It does look like, however, they're going to look to push towards Tree. Carrot Cake on the other side. Some good trigger discipline could be good. 1, 2, 3, and now has 2 players on back. Stepping through will be Potato Man, but Keprin Rocks right on the other side will allow for Lower Moreland to get their second round onto the board.
That is disgusting from Carrot Cake. Discipline just enough. I guess you never really know when the drone's going to turn around, if it's going to turn at all, but as soon as he sees ahead, waits just a split second just to make sure that he's not getting looked at and just goes for the spray through the smoke. And I guess is a little bit lucky to get the 2 extra kills, but even still, just straight up wins the round right there and then. And you could even point out Coot towards the beginning for getting that Hunter's Fury down and making them all run away from B, otherwise that play could have never happened. And getting a couple tags as well. I think he tagged 4 different players with that second blast there. So still, even though no kills, definitely did dissuade them from going towards that B site and allowing Carrot Cake to make that phenomenal play happen. This time it's a little bit less favor for them though, because no double ult for them. Carrot Cake staying alive is the only saving grace, and he needs to keep his life so that they have the util to go for this retake. And he even throws out the paranoia just in case anyone's trailing him. That plant going down now, and everyone from Dallastown playing nice and safe over towards A main with that attacker's Hunter's Fury this time.
Triple swing up in heaven to try and find some room. It's a spray through, and Carrot Cake will be able to find 1. Evens the numbers. It's now a 3v3 as they've gotten themselves on a site here as well, but there will come out the Hunter's Fury, finds 1. Let's make it 2 here as well, and that will allow for Dallastown to at least guarantee themselves a split of the lead at halftime.
Yeah, that one's tough. I mean, Lower Moreland, I respect that they go for the retake there, but there's so much stuff. You got to drive it out eventually, right? You got the ult from Potato Man, which did get used, did find a kill. I mean, in fact, so it was fairly well done. But yeah, there's so much in the tank for Dallastown going for that spike hold. There's just no way that retake is ever going to happen unless you land some miracle like 360 no scope headshot on like 3 people. But yeah, you got to get it out sometimes. So Dallastown now, after a couple ults get used, Roman is going to charge up these blades this time. Probably not going to use them until a future round, but has them in the back pocket just in case. Sin is going to make sure that they don't need it though. Carrot Cake with a Bucky does get 1, drops the spike, but it is kind of, it's in a relatively safe spot, I would say. Omen grabs that and gets it right out of dodge. Justin though takes out Sin, so that does make the round a little bit harder because there's not many options towards the A side of the map.
Not yet, but we'll see if they opt to pivot, because we do see they've pulled it back at least a little bit. You do still have Arcane and Gimme Spam, who at least pushed forward a little bit here, but now is where time will start to become of the essence. We're about halfway through this round, and if you are going to pivot over towards A, gotta start thinking about it sooner than later, and it does look like that's going to be the... I thought it was going to be the call. The hesitation here has me worried now, Anton.
I mean, they're really running out of time, like you mentioned. If they can get these, if they can win these fights, that's the linchpin, right? They have to win these fights, and then they might have a chance in the round. They have one too, but here we go. Keprin is sitting in mid, trying to cut him off, but he's not done enough because Omen has taken out every single player over towards his B defense, and they have managed to get their way onto the site, get all the way back, clear out the boathouse, make sure they're safe. Eaton has gotten here in time though, so there is plenty of time to work all the space that he needs to make this 1v1 happen. And he's trekking all the way in the back temporarily. This jump from Omen might end up saving his life, but just gets back around the box, not in the nick of time. And Eaton shoots straight through and finds the headshot, finds the clutch in a 1v1.
Still being able to manage over on that lower Moreland side. You know, earlier you had mentioned being on the defensive side and being behind here, and you said how maybe lower Moreland is a more offensive team. I feel like from what I've seen from the squad, they do definitely do better on the attacking half no matter what map they are on. I feel like they're a team that usually has pretty good synergy and like progress onto a site. They're usually able to play relatively aggressive. So if you're able to at least bring things back, make it manageable. I'm not saying win the next 3. I feel like that's asking for too much. But make it manageable. Win 2 of the next 3. Make it 5-7. I mean, 8-4, doable, but I really feel like 5-7 is that sweet, considering the start that you had.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely possible with the ults, and especially with that start. Nice shot from Carrot Cake. It's a little bit easier in this kind of round where Dallastown don't have the best of buys, but I mean, I guess he could have faced off against Potato Man or something like that with the rifle. And in fact, that's going to happen over towards B. Gets taken out by their doppelganger sitting on that market position. No, it should be just formality at this point. Unless Omen, I mean, good headshot on the other side of things. Arcane does upgrade the rifle. So perhaps a little bit something to be had. Ethan is still locking down this site though with the ultimate. I think he spent it. I think it's out. The neural theft is casted, but they do go down. So Dallastown with a bit of a chance as they do have double rifle going into this 2-on-3.
You'll find one is Carrot Cake. Coot finds the other. And look at that. One of those 2 rounds that I was asking for officially on the board as they move up to 4, and they'll still have 2 of those ults still available here heading into round number 11 as well. And I think also when you look towards Coot, I mean, 3 is attainable as far as maybe still getting that Hunter's Fury up, which I do feel like is a nice help on the defensive side, right? Well, to help on either side, really, depending on how you play it. But it could potentially get yourself 3, maybe even 4 ults, depending on how Keprin does as well. So I feel like they still have a chance to maybe even make this 6.
I mean, with Justin run it back. I wonder. Well, yeah, that's the thing. They're not looking at the correct site this time for lower Moreland to be able to utilize some of these ults, perhaps in a retake. If they can stay alive, or if Ethan can get at least 1 or 2 on the site when they push in, that's definitely a big possibility. And given the fact that Ethan has been doing fairly well so far on these site holds, and you have a gap top of the rafters if you want to play there, but he looks like he's just gonna try and stand his ground for now. They are getting slowed down quite heavily inside this A main, but he looks away at the wrong time, and Omen is gonna be there to dome him with the blades. Out fast though with that flash. Justin tries to go for a very quick retake. I'm not gonna find too much with that run it back this time. Only a defender kill. Second one to be had though. Still massive advantage for lower Moreland as they go in with all the util getting spammed around the site. Gimme Spam is gonna try and answer back on a 1. Not quite the second. Justin with a drop right beside where the spray already is. And lower Moreland already winning both the rounds that you asked for.
Very well, even win that 6th one here. Carrot Cake will be the only one that has the ult available to him. I guess you could say the same thing for Sin on the other side for Dallastown. And while Dallastown was holding it down early on here in this first half, I mean, won 6 of the first 8 rounds. They've gone relatively quiet. They've lost that bite. And I mean, at least the good news for them, they do have a mostly full buy going into this round, other than Gimme Spam not having the full shields, but they are 1 ult orb away from having that not dead yet being back available to him. So I guess maybe that's the benefit for them. But let's go and get down into it. See if lower Moreland has a chance to be able to tie things up here, Anton.
Yeah, it's a very strong default here from Dallastown. Not wanting to go fast like they have in the last couple. As lower Moreland seem to have their number when it comes to just these 5-man hits. So they decide to poke and prod a little bit, not revealing the spike. But soon as some pot shots into a site with that Guardian, maybe kind of baiting out the fact that they might not have the best buy for the final round of the half, and walking all the way back. But without further noise towards A, I wonder how much lower Moreland are going to bite on this, because they've sent Carrot Cake into mid. This is such a deep spot for their Omen. I mean, he can smoke anywhere on the map, right? So it doesn't matter where he's playing. But this is great already. He can pretty much call out any kind of rotation based on sound for the rest of the team to rotate fast. But losing their player, losing their Sova out of all agents, not going to bear fruit for them. Carrot Cake needs to get a lot here in this link, and he gets that beautiful flash, loses his life though, and so go the smokes.
Oh. Paint shells will come out to slow down this push. Here through B main, the Roomba will get shot down as well, but again, still slowing down the push so that way at least Eaton has a little bit more time to rotate back to that defensive spawn. The problem for Kepler and Rocks, well, Sin was on the backside, finds that one, steps through, Eaton puts him down. Well, now Eaton have the whole weight of the world on their shoulders in a 1v3. But it is definitely doable. It is going to be tough. Instantly steps through. Give me Spam. Well, Spam's right on through. And Dallastown has a 2-round lead at half.
Living up to the name. Pretty good decision to just instant spam the cage just in case he tries to walk through, take some isolated fights. And smart from Eaton. That's probably the only thing that he could have tried in that kind of scenario, but not much to be done against 3 when they're all ready and set up for any kind of crossfire. 1 round, well, okay, 2 rounds technically caught between these 2 teams going into the second half. Scoreline just as you predicted. We'll see if Lower Moreland do have the gusto on their attack to be able to make this I can't really say, it's hard to call it a comeback, but I think just because it is an ascent, it'd be as close as you could call it to a comeback for a half this close. But Dallastown with the Sova, instant spot towards B, a walk up for Sin. Okay, ambitious, like quite ambitious in fact, but there are some responses towards B, so it's not the end of the world. This Lurk's still active on A though, so it does give Lower Moreland a lot of options as to what they want to do. The Cypher just slowly working their way up inside that A main. Probably wants to check inside of Wine eventually, but I don't think that they would read that anyone was there. Give me Spam. The one player on the site does lose their life, so now completely opens up that A site for a plant.
Trigger discipline could have been good there as far as intrigue. Could have still potentially found that 3rd player stepping through. Eaton will be able to take down Sir Omen as Carrot Cake has seemingly come alive on the server, now up to 16 and 10 after I think starting 0 and 4. They helping step to the plate here for this Lower Moreland squad. Now it's going to be up to the Arcane, the last one left alive, to try and make some magic happen with 10 HP and a dream.
The time is ticking down so low, and the door is closed, so not gonna be winning this round. Best you can ask for is maybe an exit or taking some of the guns off of Lower Moreland, or more specifically taking some of the armors off. It'd be nice to get Ethan down, but nonetheless. Both players do lose their lives on Lower Moreland, but they do get the round, which is probably the most important part. With the money not going to be saved over, no one in fact had armor towards the end of that, so not the end of the world that Ethan and Carrot Cake both go down as they buy up the SMGs going into the anti-eco. But Dallastown at least can live fairly well, knowing that everyone on their side got ult orbs at least for going down to a gun instead of the spike.
Moreland, again, seemingly have come alive off the back of a resurgence from Carrot Cake. They've been on a roll here. They've won 4 of the last 5 of the last 7. Around here, what'll give them a share of the lead as we do creep in towards those meat and potato rounds here in the second half. It's a whole group up of squads here from the squad here from Lower Moreland in B main. Problem is they're going to be quickly pinched here. Sin steps right up onto the other side, steps through the doorway, doesn't find a frag just quite yet.
Dangerous though for the defense, but I guess they've got nothing to lose, so it's not the worst decision to go for these mid picks. Not having too much success though. Getting some damage off into multiple members of Lower Moreland. If they could pick off the Omen and the Phoenix, that'd be very, very nice. Taking some of these guns off, and these 2 players actually have regen shields too, so it'd be a little bit harder to take them out, but a bit more worth it, as there's a little bit of money invested into those agents. Back spotted. Not enough. 2 more chances for them to take any kind of rifle, or excuse me, any kind of SMGs away from Lower Moreland. But with that smoke down in heaven and teammate quite far displaced, might be a bit difficult to do very much.
Oh, that's good. Oh no, Arcane tucks back just in time, and now at this point, Sir Omen has made their way slowly over to join them up in heaven. The only problem is that means they are going to have to double swing on through. First one falls. Sir Omen will be able to find one. but it will be just one as we move up to 7s onto either side, and Lower Moreland seem to have come alive.
Yeah, that's absolutely a win for Moreland there, keeping 4 into this one. A fairly strong bonus for them, with perhaps an any buy from Carrot. He's considering it. But nope, goes back down to the pistol. It's actually, it's a bit weird. They really want a rifle going into 3rd, but staying disciplined here. Yeah, okay, buy up a stick. That's nice. Having full SMGs. They have a lot of options here. Just run straight down in A. There are like virtually 2 sentinels here, so this might be a bit difficult for them. This Clove having the metal, oh excuse me, actually doesn't have the metal. Maybe he didn't have the money for it or something like that. But yeah, there's nothing to slow them down here other than Killjoy Util, so maybe not as bad as I originally thought. Guns though in favor of Dallastown massively, but can these SMGs do much? They can at least get 1 Arcane with a 2nd with an SMG as well. So this is still not completely clear for the attackers. Until that. There you go, Kepler, nice discipline there to check that corner.
Good awareness with the showstopper. Coot's going to be able to find Sir Omen here as well, and it's now down to a 2v2. Eaton takes down Potato Man. Sin's the last one left alive. Taken down by Keprin Rocks. That's going to be now 3 rounds in a row to start off the attacking half here for Lower Moreland. I told you they like to be able to control the pace over there, and they've definitely proven to do just that to start off the half. They've broken the economy here of Dallastown as well. They've gotten themselves their first lead.
Yeah, that was really nice from Lower Moreland as well. I mean, like, being able to not only hit the site, but also pretty much get hit in return from Dallastown trying to go for a fast retake there, that's not an easy task, right? They have the lower weapons, they run into the site and they're able to hold down every single corner. I guess it probably helps that Keprin was able to get ult up by round 3. But whatever the case, they go into this one with full rifles, and Dallastown now defending the same site against the same kind of hit, just without a rocket launcher, but they have the worst guns this time. They're only able to get 1 on that entry.
Have to slow the squad down from being able to get full control. Sir Omen tries to step through with the shot to the body, but only finds just enough. Get a little bit of HP, not enough to be able to find the frag. Spike goes down. Sin will be alive with Gimme a Span up in here in heaven. It will look to turn the corner. Looks for a couple of pop shots over towards Justin L. Sin going to be able to take them down. It's 2v2. Turns the corner. Not going to be able to find a second.
Still both there. I mean, he knows, right? Sin has every idea where these last 2 players are. There's a chance there with the low HP on Sova, but difficult when they double swing so perfectly. Carrot Cake all the way at the top of the scoreboard, maintaining the team's lead. And two ults for the side of Lower Moreland already at round number 5. Like I already mentioned, Keprin having that rocket charged up in round 3 was one of the most important reasons why they ended up winning that, I think. But also getting the Huntress Fury up by 5, maybe the from the shadows doesn't matter that much, but having the Sova already, this is so fast from the side of Lower Moreland. Very well done. And Dallastown still with a bit of a broken buy. Don't know how well this is going to work out for them. The Sin is caught out in B main, loses their life without a single kill.
Not gonna lie, it feels like a little bit of panic starting to settle in for this Dallastown squad, who probably felt pretty good halfway through number 1, and now all of a sudden they continue to see round after round go in favor of this Lower Moreland squad. They'll be able to find themselves a couple, quickly turn things into their favor. Sir Omen, while you do find the kill, take away the one chance Sir or Gimme Spam had to be able to stay alive in this round, and that is going to be unfortunate. So as that timer goes down, it'll be brought back to a 2v2. It's like Lower Moreland well, I was going to say looking to pivot towards A, but maybe just a little bit of a fake because they look to shift back to B.
Man, the not Clove mains, you can kind of see why he did that, but for anyone that plays Clove, you're going to be kicking him. Like that is so annoying. That was a nice shot, I guess. Fair play. Like, one tap, instant. Can't really blame him for that, just reacting in time. But yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that they spend the ultimate there and don't get too much out of it other than some information, but it might actually be false information because these guys are running back towards his B site and Omen not catching them in time, tries to just go for a shot and it might get a bit of damage down on a raise, but that's pretty much it. 20 seconds is plenty of time to get the spike down with how far away Arcane is. They fully clear back site. It's completely safe. They can play wherever they want. But Arcane is here pretty soon. And sprays them both down. All right, that's the perfect gun for the job. Lower Moreland, they thought they had more time. And honestly, they might have thought they had as much time as I thought they did, because This guy was here so early. Arcane just booked it all the way over to that B site, has that machine gun to spray through the box. There is no safe place to stand over towards B, and gets that 1 versus 2 nice and clean.
I'll put themselves back to within a round here for Dallastown. Let's see if maybe that can be the catalyst for them on the defensive side to start stringing a couple of these rounds together, because we did see them be able to do that on the attacking side. It's moving to defense. Haven't quite been able to find that same level of success here, so see if they have the chance. I mean, it's the meat and potato rounds I mentioned earlier, that 16 through 20. We're in the thick of it here. And both teams still definitely have a chance, but the one thing that is going to be really nice for Lower Moreland, 5 ults at their disposal here.
Oh, all right, a little bit of a dink there going on Gimme Spam. Not going to be very happy about that, but definitely going to be liking the fact that they were able to take out Coot over towards the top mid. Second peak even. Just knowing that they're Clove, knowing they have the freedom to just go for some nuts plays. Potato Man trying to kind of do a little movement juke there, but I don't think that Lower Moreland are biting on this. I'm not sure if they looked actually on the map where that Sova was walking towards, but they are just walking straight towards this B site. Even still, after a couple seconds, they decide to reconsider. I don't know what's going on in their heads, but a little bit of a sixth sense, realizing where these Dallastown players are going to be positioned up. And for the 3rd time, a rotation towards A this round. But they're taking it nice and slow, clearing down every single corner, making sure that they're completely disciplined, that they don't lose a random member from any crazy spot. Justin getting taken out of the run it back very swiftly from the defense makes me wonder, are they going to move again? They only have 30 seconds remaining, and they're already getting flanked by the Sova, so it's going to be tough nuts for them for this round. They have to hit A.
Yeah, I think the big thing is the great play from Potato Man to push into mid, right? That would give you information. You'll probably see them rotating over, especially since they did end up going and checking over towards that mid-link area. But now Sir Omen knows they're rounding the corner. There's not enough time for them to be able to rotate over from now. Ethan and company just had to pull their way on through. Eaton will find 2. Potato Man finds a pair as well. Spike goes down, and it's a 1v1 for the round.
Is the window open? I'm not entirely sure if the window is open, but the bot getting sent towards Catwalk. Oh, the dart. Okay, it's a bit of an awkward timing, and the running gun. I don't know how Keprin lands that, but full sprint all the way through Cats. That is absolutely insane that Lower Moreland come out with the round with only so little time left trying to hit the sights.
A great job by them to be able to get themselves up to 10 over that Lower Moreland side. And it's a great decision, right? You see the dart come out. You know they got to take a second to put that away to pull their rifle out. And, well, that does let you know. Players right there. They turn the corner, find that frag, and it's nice, easy peasy lemon squeezy. 3 ults still on the table here for Lower Moreland. And Eaton already 3 away from that neural theft 1 more again. So with 3 rounds away, they have to feel like the cards are in their favor.
Back into this A site, there's a lot of util here to be played with. This time it's only the Killjoy on the other side of things, just to make sure that no ground gets given up before it needs to be. The thing is, Carrot Cake has already made their way onto the sites, so it might not end up mattering, other than the fact that Coot just walks into the nanoswarms for some reason. But other than that, Lower Moreland are doing very, very well getting onto the site, getting that plant all the way secured.
Cake playing aggressive here. Gimme Spam. Hold on just a second. That'll take out Justin L. Unfortunately, though, both Potato Man and Sin will fall. Leaves Gimme Spam as the last one left alive in what feels like an impossible scenario. Lower Moreland now 1 round away from being 1 round away.
11 on the docket. 2 ults for them as well. One of them quite impactful. Ethan maybe having a bit of a clutch ult, so not entirely a round-winning one until perhaps it's him against the world. But for now, Dallastown with a bit of an awkward buy. They really don't want Lower Moreland to get up the match point, so they're going to be ending up spending pretty much everything other than Omen, which is the most interesting part. He's got the most money out of everyone and buying up only the Guardian. He could definitely opt for a bigger weapon, but it looks like he wants that 1-tap potential, I guess, from range. So goes for the DMR instead of the rifles. It's a double. All right, Potato Man, that's good enough. I guess they don't need the big buy if they have buckshot close range. And Ethan finally using that neural theft. Like I was mentioning before, only to get that information, but good information at that, as it sends Carrot Cake back into B main with that very fast flick on a Sin. And now it's all done, or all but done, as it's a 3-on-3 with that Hunter's Fury in tow.
Tucks away from Carrot Cake. Oh, but Carrot Cake will turn her in and be able to find the one getting put down. Unfortunately, they'll have to watch the rest. Gimme Spam finds one. Eaton takes them down. But Sir Omen will be the last one left alive. The one that matters to be able to put Dallastown up to 9 and keeps the hope of a big W for Dallastown still on the board.
Yeah, that's a huge one from the shotgun as well. Very nicely done from who was that? Was that Spam? Arcane? I'm not entirely sure. I apologize for forgetting that name. I thought it was a Cypher, but in fact it's a Cypher that gets doubled with that one shot of the Bucky. Like, you don't really see that happening very often, right? Because the Bucky is usually, I mean, you don't really see two people bunching up in that kind of shape, but they both made like the perfect circle to fit the Bucky crosshair, so they get absolutely ventilated. And after that, it's so tough to be able to get back onto the site because there's still the shotgun in play to do more damage. Now it's on the other side, so no buckshot to be happening over towards A, so this might be a little bit easier in fact for Lower Moreland as they push on with this dart. But there's still a lot of utility at this front door able to be popped. There it goes. Big win for Lower Moreland after that one, I'd say.
Good here. Sir Omen's going to find 2. Once Sir Omen falls, that is a big player to be taken out. The only thing is, it's quite a big roster that has quite a couple of players with that pop-off potential. Carrot Cake going to be able to find one. The not dead yet does get popped. You can't... Wait, I was going to say, you can't run away. No way, he turns on him. That's insane.
Oh my goodness, Carrot Cake. I'm not gonna lie, you can't let that kind of thing happen, you know. He had such good discipline there. He stayed completely calm, made sure that there was no one else looking at him as that not dead yet was casting. But after that, he just, everything just goes out of the water, right? It's a bit unlucky. I guess sometimes it happens, like Valorant. I understand, like if the spray goes out of your crosshair, you kind of don't know where the bullets are going. But yeah, that you can't really be letting someone cast that ultimate so close to you. So Dallastown now with what, 2 in a row at this point, looking for third. Potato Man unfortunately still having no gun. I don't know what's going on there. He's sticking with the sheriff, but the rest of his team has 4K. I think he might actually be disconnected or something. They're not asking for a tech pause. I'm surprised. But Lower Moreland, I mean, they don't care. They're just going straight into it. Right into this B. Dropping the spike though is Sin. And this is still the defense. Down a man, looking so good.
Solid here. Pushing to the door is Sin. They know where Keprin Rocks is. I think what's important was heading into the round, this was going to be the last full buy. Lower Moreland was going to be able to pull off at least consecutively. And if Lower Moreland drops this, not only will it be tied at 11s apiece, but more importantly, going into that 23rd round, Lower Moreland is going to have to save, which means 10 could very well quickly shift to 12. Unless Keprin Rocks is able to pull off a miracle. Problem being, well, the location of the spike has already been given over to the defense. They know where you're at as well after the first one falls, and it will be 3 rifles kept alive here for Dallastown.
It's a bit unlucky towards the end, checking the wrong corner. But I guess you can't be sure of everything when you're in a 1v3 like that. So 11-11 now, a lot of ones on that scoreboard. Dallastown with the momentum. Lower Moreland now not quite backs against the wall just yet, but they're definitely getting edged against the cliff. Only pistols were half the team. An SMG for Justin. Coot with the Guardian, biggest rifle all the way at the bottom of the scoreboard. And they're walking into this A site again, into all this KJ util that has been here every single round pretty much. I don't think they've changed their setup anytime. And Sin starting that off with a beautiful one tap onto the best player, at least individually speaking, on the side of Lower Moreland, and the smokes, mind you. That's a double whammy right there. That's one of your best shooters and your controller taken out immediately as soon as the round starts.
A tough one there. Repeat here from Justin L is going to see that Sin still sits right on the other side. It's going to be a flash, quick peek, but not enough time to fire off a shot. Does actually look like they've already started to commit. Rotate through mid. The only thing though, they're not going over to B. Instead, they're just simply looking to rotate here through tree. It's going to start off the back of Coot here. If you can find this right corner checked. Yes, you can. That will let them feel at least a little bit confident. The only problem is there's been so much time that almost everyone has already been able to find their way over towards A. And the neural theft gives them information, but it doesn't matter. Sin continues to pop some heads, stack some bread. There's only 2 players left. Eaton and Justin here for Lower Moreland to try and exec on the site. Justin L will be able to find one, run it back, allows for them to get right on back, and it's a 2v2.
So important, this spray is going to land. 1-on-1 now. Has 20 seconds, though. If he wants to go to B, he has to run all the way and not stop. The thing, I don't think... Absolutely not that Arcane has any idea that this is happening right now. 11 seconds. Yeah, there would be no time. If Arcane was here, if he could slow him down at all, this would be a 1 round. But in fact, Justin gets all the way to safety, gets the plant behind triple box. And now it's all down to Arcane. Has a pretty decent weapon, I'd say, to get this clutch done with. But he has no idea where Justin's going to be playing. I think it's Justin knows. Oh, shoot. Okay. Flash out. Reveals his location, which means that Arcane only has to worry about close. Spots him out as well. That's the worst case scenario for Justin, because this weapon fires so many bullets. Only a couple need to land wherever. And Dallastown have map and series point. It's a best of 1. Remember that. This is no extra chances for Lower Moreland.
Well, they have locked in when it matters the most. At least guaranteed overtime, but surely if you're Dallastown, you would like to be able to end things here and now. Now, one thing to keep in mind, I had mentioned how that last round, it was going to be a save buy for Lower Moreland. So they do still have a full buy here. That will be the one benefit for them. Interestingly enough, I was going to say Potato Man has money in the bank, hasn't bought yet, will be able to do so. They have a pair of ults on either side, but I do feel like when you look at the potential value out of both Sin and Sir Omen, I feel like it favors them, but Sir Omen or Sin will be the first to fall.
Best player on the side of Dallastown no longer on the board. Big teleport to the back of the site. He doesn't spot. Oh, he doesn't look. He just doesn't turn around. Arcane was there the whole time. Machine gun now not finding a second spray. Very lucky for Lower Moreland. Even trying to peek out in time to break that lockdown. They get it. Somehow Lower Moreland maintain their composure in the time of need. Now all up to Potato Man. I think, sadly, I think there's been some connection issues, or maybe someone's in the background. I don't know if they're playing in a school facility or something like that, but there might be someone talking to him. Is something that's weird happening, because this has happened a couple rounds in a row. Right? He's been in spawn, like you're mentioning. He just wasn't buying for a while. And one of the previous rounds where Dallastown, or excuse me, Lower Moreland were hitting A, it's actually kind of fine. But yeah, that one not quite so. Left him last alive and was very far away for the clutch. And one of the most important agents, I would say, for that kind of retake is the Sova. So not having that util doesn't prove very well. So Dallastown now, they've gotten out in overtime. They didn't really want to make it here, but Lower Moreland on the defense are pulling out all the stops. They are not leaving anything to chance. 4 Odins on their team, completely embracing the identity of Brock on almost their entire roster. This is going to be a heck of a round for Dallastown to try and break through.
You know, I think it's safe to say that Brock has ruined the game of Valorant. We have never seen this many Odins in previous seasons in PIA, and I feel like every week I've seen it at least for a round. I can't say that you blame him. I mean, obviously found quite a bit of success here this past VCT season. And also for defense, you figure it gives you lots of ammo. You can just simply hold, I was going to say right trigger, but I guess that doesn't really work. People are playing on mouse and keyboard, but you get the sense that I'm talking about. You can kind of spray around towards at a potential corner where people are just looking to turn around. So I like the idea, but the problem is I do feel like it could lead to some issues as far as accuracy. As I say that, Justin finds the first.
Maybe accuracy doesn't matter when you have all the bullets to go down range. 2 through the smoke, or excuse me, 1 through the smoke. The first one, Sin, just got caught out with a flash in hands. Definitely not exactly what you'd want. And now, not really too much of a chance to walk through is there, as you have 3 different machine guns. You never have to reload as you're just spamming through the smoke the entire time, and a great paranoia will take out Sir Omen on the flank as well. Carrot Cake, the only rifle in the round, finds the most kills. It's kind of funny. But Lower Moreland, a very clean defensive round on overtime. And even, I would thought, they would just keep that strat for the defense. But apparently they're going with it for attack as well.
Can't blame them if it works. I think the thing that was the big key there was the coordination between the team. You heard him, one would reload, someone else would start spraying towards the doorway, and you did take your one rifle onto the flank here. Does look like at least 2 Odins will be put away as we see them chatting in chat. The students are having fun, but I do love to see at least the effort here. So let's get down into it. Remember, Lower Moreland
Cover going out.
win another round. That is the end of things, but if Dallastown able to win this, we'll reset things back. Arcane will fall back to the site just a little bit more, but Carrot Cake steps in and puts them down.
All right, this time the Killjoy utility in the wrong spot for the first time in many rounds. And what gets even worse is that they're not finding any kills. It's only machine guns to be chiming in so far, rifles to be had as well. Finally, Carrot Cake gets destroyed. But so far, that's all they've had to their names. Only a Guardian to show for themselves, and Omen can't find anything other than their doppelganger. 24, but that's pretty much it. 14-12, Lower Moreland to eke that victory out, but they do it in style towards the end.
I feel like we have a similar sort of lesson to be had, points to take away from. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but for Dallastown, I guess the big thing is this feels like for Dallastown probably their best performance that they've had all season. Despite for them, they came in 0-2. You take the best team in your conference the distance. While it's not going to feel great to fall 0-3 thus far in PIEA, I feel like to be able to put up this performance again against the big dogs in D2, a team that we had even seen in match chat prior to the game, I don't think they had very high expectations. I think proves to yourself that you're a lot closer to being able to put a couple of those dubs up on the board than they thought.
Yeah, this is like no joke. This is a very impressive scoreline. It's a bit painful to lose like this after you brought it so darn close as well and even gotten to match point first. There was definitely a chance for Dallastown just to end it in standard time. But I mean, Lower Moreland, they're a monster to deal with, right? Like, there's no way they're going down without a fight. And even towards the end, the names that needed to wake up definitely woke up. Justin with the 2K, Carrot getting the kills on the flank as well on that defensive round. It's just they play so cleanly that if there's any kind of mistake on Dallastown at all, it's pretty much a lost round. You can kind of say the same for Lower Moreland. Like, if it's like Sin and Omen can take advantage of some of the holes Lower Moreland do leave sometimes, like every once in a while, but it's kind of rare, and it's difficult for most of the roster of more of the roster of Dallastown to do that kind of thing, like to be that clutch player. It's usually just the 2 duelists at the top, at least in this map. I can probably say that safely. But for Lower Moreland side, it's like anyone has that capability of just being that clutch player, even towards the bottom of the scoreboard. I was mentioning Justin as one of the names to watch out for. He's actually second to last place on their entire roster. So there's a lot of names in Lower Moreland that you have to kind of look at and be like, this guy's left alive. Doesn't matter. He can win this round. So you have to just keep your wits about you and not let anything go to the wayside.
Well, unfortunately, Anton, I have a little bit of bad news. We only had 2 matchups on the docket. I wish we could have had a third because, man, we had some good games today. I do got to say, I'm not going to lie. I was a bit skeptical going in because we did have 2 teams who had kind of been underperforming on the season thus far. I thought it was going to be a quick day, so I really liked the fact that both of our 2 teams were able to step up to the challenge and give us some pretty entertaining maps here as far as for today. We're not done with week number 4, though, for PIEA. Tomorrow's Thursday, so we got Marvel Rivals, we've got Fortnite, we've also got some middle school Rocket League going on as well. If it's your first time through over here on PIEA02, make sure you hit that follow button down below and turn those notifications on. That way we can catch you when we go live for some more PIEA action. Anton, it was an absolute blast to be able to join you on the desk. Hopefully we'll be able to run it back again soon. But you and I, we do have the easy job. We get to show up, we get excited about pixels. We got to make sure we're giving a big shout out to the man behind the curtains, high tech, low life, pressing on the buttons, giving us the views and vibes, the eyes in the sky. Without him, well, this really isn't nearly as easy for us to be able to give you a good cast as far as for the casters here. So big shout out to them. Also big shout out to all of our teachers and staff across the great state of PA that allow for our students to have a opportunity like this here at PIEA. And until we do get to catch y'all back for the next one, man, don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all, that's Anton. I'm Q. For the rest of the crew here from the front to the back, y'all have a great rest of your week. Peace.